Okay, a few things I've had to do. I got Clifton. You could see that the 5 pieces of tread plate are up there on the front of the trailer. I got Clifton to help me do that, and then we hooked this 1/2 inch piece of plate. We chained it up, and we brought it in on that I-beam with that chain hoist right there. This piece of metal is 1,000 pounds. It's heavier than that little black trailer. So I went and I bought these from Harbor Freight. They're designed to hold 250 pounds. I had to buy 2 of them. I put this 24-foot piece of beam on there. Well, it was 24 feet. I think it's down to 13, 14 feet now. Problem is they are taller at full compression than that saw. So you see how I got that saw sitting up on a pallet. I had to put it up on pallet. I just got through doing a straight cut, so I just set it back up for an angle cut. So in the future this will be mounted. I'll make some legs, and I may make a swivel base so I can swivel it from straight to angle without having to move its legs, you know what I mean? So, and those things have rollers on them, so it rolls real nice. I just about got it adjusted right. So the only problem is doing an angled cut. There's no room for the factory vise. So see, this goes in that thing, and then you turn it in and out with this. But there's no way to do for the 4-inch piece of square stock. There's just no way that's going back in there. So I took that off. So what I've had to do is I'm having to put like a C-clamp here, and then when the saw comes down, the saw starts rubbing on the C-clamp. So then I have to change and put a C-clamp here over the blade. So I have to let the blade get into the metal first, and then I have to change the C-clamps while it's in the process of cutting. So I'll put this C-clamp on there first, let it get started. I got to cut the corner off right there, and then the rest of the cuts are angled cuts. Boom, 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 all the way down. Because I've got to cut. You see how this one has 2 angles on it. So it's got the square edge, and then this angled edge. So this is 45-degree angle. So you see all the pieces. So this is going to be a leg. It's going to have a piece of 1/2-inch plate welded down here as a foot, and then it'll have a piece of 1/2-inch plate welded up here as a mount for the bench grinder or the vise or the drill press. So I got 7 of my pieces cut already. So this will be left leg and right leg, like east and west, or west and east. So I'll have a north leg coming off here just like one of these. It'll just be here, and then there'll be a south leg. So imagine it having all 4 points of the compass. So that's what I'm working on now. So you can see it's going to be pretty massive. So now I just got to tack it all together and start welding it. But I was going to go ahead and finish cutting. I got to cut 6 more pieces, because the middle piece is the middle piece. So I need 3 more pieces like this to go here, and then 3 more pieces to go on the bottom side, and then the whole thing will stand up. So And then the bulk of this plate, I need 5 feet of it to make a welding table with the holes drilled in it and whatnot. So I kind of started drawing. So you can see the holes are going to start here and go every 2 inches on center, and then go here every 2 inches on center, and then every 2 inches on center, every 2 inches on center, every 2 inches, yeah. So the whole field will just be 2 on center by 2 on center. So, and that'll be the welded table that goes in this position. But I got to get that plate onto that thing so I can cut it. So that's where I am now. I came over here. I added a 50 amp outlet. I put in some 8 gauge cable. They were all blue, so I just labeled them red, black, and green. Put in a 50 amp breaker. So that is ready to go. So I can run my welder from this location. So what I'll do is when I get through cutting, I'll move all that out of the way. I'll roll this table out of the way, and I'll roll that table over here since it's got that 1/2 inch plate on it. And it's going to be a welded table. I'm going to weld on it. And that way I just ground right to the slab, the slab of the table, and then go with it. This is an extension cord, but it's a 50 amp outlet with a 50 amp end on it. But the cable is only a 30 amp cable. It's 10 gauge, and so it's only rated for 30 amps. So yeah, that's the first thing I had to do this morning. I had to go and buy these C-clamps so I can do this, because this thing's definitely not made for that big old piece of tubing. It does perfect when it's cutting square. The clamp will close on it. But when you're cutting at an angle, it's no longer a piece of 4-inch tubing. It's now 6 inches wide. So it's not made to cut that. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. And they had these on sale today. Today Harbor Freight's running a sale, so that was half off. And I got the green to go with that jack. I got that jack in their discount section. Open box or something discount. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the box was open. So anyway, so I got me that's a for doing brake jobs and such, and it adjusts up and down. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. You see I had to move all the stuff off this table so we lay this slab on there. But yeah, that's what we're doing now. There'll be more to come. Stay tuned. All right, so see how I had to mount it in there. So since I couldn't use that other thing, I had to put this C-clamp around here on this side. So see, I got it biting there. But eventually that wheel is gonna come down and hit it, so it won't be able to cut through. You can see how close the wheel is. So but by the time it gets to that point, the blade will be down about here, and then I'll be able to put a C-clamp over the top of the blade. So it's just a process. But this little Harbor Freight saw that I got from like a estate sale for like 30 bucks. All I did is I took it all apart, cleaned up all the parts that have to slide and move. I cleaned up all the little bearings. Says a roller bearing there, roller over here, roller here. And I cleaned up all this stuff, made sure everything was good to go. I had to redo some wiring here, but all I did is put a blade in it. But look how straight it's cutting. You can come out of the hole and it don't even touch. So it's cutting really straight. I got it, and you can adjust this side to side to make sure the blade is square. So you can see how it's close here and got a gap there. So you can actually adjust that head. See how this one's right against it here, And if you look right there, it's open. So they made it where you can adjust that head to make sure that you get the blade perfectly square. So yeah, it's just a little Harbor Freight saw, and that's a Harbor Freight blade. Does fine. I got the shield off of it now because the shield goes right here, and the shield would hit the material before the saw does. So I took the shield off to do that. I just have to make sure I don't put my hand in there. See that right there, that little cut? I did my hand here, just, hey. So I'm like, oh yeah, I took the shield off. So anyway, yeah, I got maybe 40 bucks total in that blade and the purchase of the thing plus a little bit of labor. Yeah, maybe 50 bucks. All I did is just I took it all apart, cleaned it up, and then put it back together. So yeah, that work surface was rusted as hell. I had to do a lot of work to get it cleaned up, but yeah, I can't believe it's cutting as good as it's cutting. It's really cutting good cuts. I mean, you can see how fine these cuts are. See, there's no jaggedness, no nothing. It's cutting a really clean cut. All my cuts, I've already made 10 cuts with it, and every one of them is a really clean cut. I'm really satisfied with it. I'm impressed, actually. So that was 10 cuts. I think I got 9 more cuts to make. So just slow going, but that's what I'm doing. I'm not forcing, I'm just letting its own weight, and you can set the tension on that spring to make it where it makes it lighter so it doesn't fall so fast. But it's cutting fine. The blade is not getting hot, the blade's cold. I mean, the blade's not even warm. The blade is ice cold. It's cold. So yeah, so if the blade's cold, then you know you're not overheating it. The blade will last forever. If you could, yeah, there's the shield. This right here, I think I need to cut out right here because that's where it was going to hit the, well, no, I'll take it back. Here, I need to notch out right here, maybe something like that. Yeah, I need to notch out right there because with the square tubing going through there crooked like that, this would lay on it right there. So I probably need to just notch it out, but I still want to protect that wheel. So just, you know, a pair of 10 snips can probably do that. You know, I'm not even gonna worry about it. Well, how often am I gonna cut something 4 inch by 4 inch? I mean, that's huge. All right, you can see there, it's getting ready to get on that wheel. So since the saw blade's out of the way now, we can go ahead and all I do is stick it under here. What I got? There, see? Trying to hold the camera and do it. Now, once that's tight, now you see it's fixing to touch it. I'll just take this one off. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, Bill. Yeah, see, so that worked out. Never even had to stop the blade. And you see the blade still loose in there. It's not binding anywhere, so it cuts really straight. Now that's vibrating. So that's that. I got to finish drawing all my cut marks on here. I hadn't put all my cut marks on here. I got a center line down the middle because that's what I'm doing to measure it. So my cut marks go either way off the center. So if you see here, so like this one's 20 inches down the center. It's 20 inches to that point. This one's 13 3/4 down the center. That one's 24 down the center. So I use the center line on all of them for their measurements. More accurate that way. So anyway, that's it's gonna take me, it takes about 35-40 minutes to do a full angle cut. That little half cut, that won't take but 10-15 minutes. But to do this full angle cut, that's about 40 minutes to cut that right there. All right, I got all my pieces cut and ready to weld. This is the 1/2 inch plate that I'm gonna use for my welding table in the future. So it's fixing to be a welding table. So got my welder fired up and ready to go. Got the table grounded and we're ready to tack. In fact, I done popped a few tacks right there. So we're finna go. Okay, so there's the fully assembled, or mostly. So I still gonna weld in here. I'm just gonna leave that open, there's no need for it, and then I'll turn it over and weld the bottom right there, and then I'll have to start cutting out, you know, the plates for the platforms. But that's the gist of it. It's pretty massive. It's not going to be you know, it's not going to be light to get it off there. I may need some help to get it off there. Yeah, so I'm fixing to finish up the welding on it and see if I can get it down, and then I'm gonna fire the plasma cutter up and cut out some pieces for it. So stay tuned. Okay, so it's another day in the shop working on the heavy wrecker. Maybe not. Anyway, I got my drill press set up. Just kind of temporarily, I got it viced to the table, C-clamp to the table, so I can run some holes in some plates. So I got to run. I run some holes. This plate will be for the vise, and you can see I got this plate will be where the drill press goes. So I've already drilled the holes. I haven't welded it yet. This plate is for the 8-inch bench grinder, so I'm gonna drill holes in it first. The one I'm drilling now for the vise will go there, and the 6-inch bench grinder will go there. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drilling holes. So yeah, when I get all the holes drilled in all 4 plates, I'll weld them on there. And here's where I cut with the plasma torch. I did that by hand, but you can see my hand speed's not quite perfect because it's got a lot of dross, and you can see I was moving a little too fast in some places. But it makes a real clean cut. There's the cut line. So then here is this is the pad for the 6-inch grinder, and then these will be the foot pads. So I got 4 foot pads, and then the pad for the 6-inch grinder. Everything else is 10 inches wide, and all that stuff is 6.5 or 5.5. What I do, I think I did 7. These are all 7 inches. These are all 7 inches. Those are all 10 inches. So anyway, so that's where we are. I'll give you a heads up when I get everything drilled, and we'll go to tack everything on there. Out. Okay, so there it is. I got all the pads welded on it. I done drilled all my holes, so I'm fixing to go to Harbor Freight, Tractor Supply, and get all my bolts. So there it is. So there it is. See how there's plenty of room to work on all sides. This will probably end up having, I got stones for this 6-inch grinder, and I got another set of buffing wheels, and I also got a set of wire brushes for the 6-inch grinder. And then you got a fine stone and a coarse stone on the 8-inch grinder. That other shield is it's over there. I gotta re-tap the holes. 2 of the holes, or 1 of the holes, is stripped out, so I took the screws out because I'm gonna re-tap the holes. Drill press pad. So yeah, that's what I had planned. So the only thing left, I'm gonna put a 5, you know, a 1/2-inch thick steel pad underneath, and then sit it on those rubber pads. So, and then I'll bolt it down to the floor. Most of this don't matter if it's bolted down, because it's not going to move when you're drill pressing or grinding. But if you put something serious in the vise and start pulling on it, you can still move that thing. Because see, Yeah, it's not, it's heavy, but it's not super heavy. And it'll end up going right there where that table is. And this table will go back where it was. That'll float somewhere where it's out of the way. The welding table that I built out of this slab will go in the position in front of the welder, and then this transmission building table will probably go right there somewhere up there, you know, whatever. So when you pull a vehicle in, you can pull up to the table. And I may invert the two tables. I may put the short table in front of the truck and put the long table here, but turn the long table lengthwise instead of widthwise. But anyway, I'm already looking at another location to rent. So I just got to wait for the landlord to decide what he's going to do. He's still in the process of purchasing the building, and he personally asked me if I'd want to come and be in part of the building. So yeah, that's an option that might happen in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So anyway, there you have it. The quad monster. I don't know what you're gonna call that. The quad machine monster. I don't know, but it does a trick, and it's exactly what I envisioned when I imagined the thing. It's exactly what I envisioned. So it came out perfect. It came out excellent. It came out awesome. It's exactly what I envisioned. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.